everyone. Hi, my name is Sarah Bai. I'm the Director of Programming at MCA. This is Laugh Your Craft Off, and I want to start by just welcoming you here tonight. We're glad you're here. We debated whether we should even hold this program tonight in light of today's events, which were surreal and heavy, and they are, of course, still unfolding. But ultimately, we decided that if we can bring you any little bit of comfort, community, distraction, or levity this evening, then we will do our best to create a space for that. So we understand if you are not in the mood to laugh or craft, and if that's the case, we're going to be posting this program on our YouTube page later this week in case you'd prefer to participate at a later time. But for those of you who are ready to make a dragon tonight, let's get underway. So before I pass it off to our comedian and MC, I have just a bit of housekeeping. If you're comfortable doing so, please turn on your camera so we can see your beautiful faces. This will also help our artist, Colby, pace their instruction properly if they can see where you are at. So feel free to ask Colby questions in the chat or unmute yourself to ask a question. If you need help with Zoom at any point, you can click the chat button and you can send a private message to MCA Denver. And that's everything on my end. This is my co-host, Imogen. And now I'd love to introduce you to our MC for the night, Quinn Marchman. Quinn is the co-founder of the Black Actors Guild and the current director of education there. It is his supreme joy to develop curriculum with local artists and students to create a thriving ecosystem where all players contribute. And as an actor, he's recently been featured in Dominique Morceau's Skeleton Crew at Curious Theater and Shakespeare in the Parking Lot with DCPA Education, a program I just adore. So without further ado, Quinn Marchman, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Oh, thank you so much for the intro, Sarah. That reminded me of the early days of 2020 when I could perform on stage instead of on computers. But it still is a supreme joy to be here with y'all in this, the 6th day of 2021. Thinking back to January 1st of this year, where we were like, oh, this might actually be a smooth going year. But despite any existential crisis that may happen to us or our country, it is nice to be in this Zoom with y'all right now, where we get to crack some jokes and make some dragons and just have a jolly old time amongst friendly faces. So what I want to get us started with is put us in the mood to be dragon tamers. Dragons are powerful, mystical beings, and we can't just be regular people on a Wednesday night thinking that we're going to be able to harness the power of a dragon. No, we really need to set ourselves in it. So I know you've got a bunch of crafts in front of you, but if you do have a piece of paper and pen at your disposal, that would be great, or you can just do it on your phone. And what I want to do is elevate us to the status of dragon masters. So I will share my screen real quick and we'll do a quick like hype up activity to get us in the mood for crafting dragons. And I'm going to share my screen. Boom, this is the 4th Zoom I've been in, and this is the fastest I've gone from screen to share screen and transition. So I'm feeling good about myself. So this is from Game of Thrones, one of the great disappointments of my life, but I want to reclaim the narratives in a lot of ways, and I want to reclaim my love and joy for Game of Thrones by sharing this, the title of the Mother of Dragons.
You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful Queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the 7 Kingdoms, the Mother of Dragons, the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, the Breaker of Chains.
This is Jon Snow. He's King of the North.
Great. I mean, like, what a badass set of titles. So I want everyone to take a moment and give yourselves a great dragon tamer title, and this is a way that we can approach it. Like a couple different lines, to name yourself. So first line is your first name, and then nature or environment plus your last name, and then birth order. So for instance, for me, I am Kevin Quinn, the mountain born of House Marchman, second of his name. And then let's just get some simple joys, things that we won't let 2020 or 2021 take from us, like crafting, for instance. So share some of those simple joys, and then like a good title like king, queen, ruler, executive, master, what have you. And for me, mine is king of the yerba drinkers and the bike lane. Then on the third line, take your occupation and vocation. And I really love the word vocation, like what is your calling? Not just what do you do to make money, but what is your purpose in existence? And then pair that with some epic nouns like protector, healer, speaker, pioneer, warrior, creator, of course, for this. And then for me, that's master of ceremonies, champion of the artist, unstarved. And then your last name, let's get some accomplishments or intentions, really go into this year with a lot of hype and joy for ourselves and self-confidence, because we're about to tame some dragons, whether literally or metaphorically. So for me, that is the writer of scripts, doer of dopeness, the Prince of Park Hill. And I'll leave this page up to make sure that you can see it. Can everyone, especially, I can't see the chat on my end at the moment. So does everyone understand how to make this happen?
Yes.
Stupendous. All right. Let us take 2.5 minutes or so to create our titles, and then I would love to hear one or two people share it for me. And DJ, if I could have you throw on some good dragon music to get the creative juices flowing, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Oh, well, in all of Zoom's mastery, we can't share screen and play music at the same time from different computers. But already we got some people hitting it. So Karen is Karen of the Desert, transfer of knowledge. Ooh, Karen, are you by chance a teacher?
You nailed it, art teacher.
Oh, well, we love it. Thank you for the transferring of knowledge.
Yeah, I have a typo though, but thanks for figuring it out.
I felt it.
You transferred.
Mm-hmm. Great, and let's take one more minute. Really, and I want this to not just be for this environment, but if you're ever having a rainy day, take this title and you tell that to yourself in the mirror. It doesn't matter what it's about, not politics or interpersonal issues, intrapersonal issues, bad hair days. Say, I ain't dealing with just no regular BS in my life, for I am blah, 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 blah of house, blah, 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 blah. And please correct me if I mispronounce your name, but I got Ana Luisa here. Ana Luisa, Craggy Mountaintop, Armandares the First. Ooh. Oh yeah, I feel like your castle's like hidden away somewhere that only like the most intrepid adventurers can reach the craggy mountaintop, huh?
Absolutely, high up, way up near the heavens with lots of birds who come up to talk to me.
Ooh, and so you're a bird whisperer too. I love it. I love it. Well, I want to keep things rolling here, but thank you for indulging me on a little bit of nerdiness to start the day off. Oh, I'm seeing a lot more rolling through here. Maybe like as we continue to build our dragons, you can share your dragon and your title at the same time. And I'll go ahead and put it in the chat if you want, but I have the supreme pleasure of introducing our master crafter for the evening. And someone I can't wait to chat with and philosophize on creating super cool art. Artist this evening who will be showing us how to make some fabric dragons is Colby Marie. Colby is a queer writer, artist, and educator who currently lives in Denver. Colby is a founding member of local arts group Secret Love Collective. Sending y'all some very upfront love. And one of Colby's passions is to create healing experiences through art by facilitating experiences that foster play, curiosity, and joy. Ooh, on this mighty mountain of a hump day, we are so happy to have you. Please welcome Colby Marie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Quinn. And I feel the epicness. I'm a deep nerd. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm in 2 campaigns, and that Khaleesi intro just, it got me excited to share this with you all. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I know today has been a day fraught with lots of feelings, and I know that we're all probably bringing things here. And I think it's even more important to reclaim our joy in the face of fear. So thank you so much for showing up for yourselves today and supporting local art. And I have to pause. I didn't know if this was gonna happen, but my mom and my aunt are here. So I think Sybil, the herder of unruly children, might be my aunt. And my mother, Cindy, is here. So thank you to both of them for always encouraging me to play, and 2 wonderful educators who spent their lives teaching at-risk children. So thank you for being here, Mom and Biggie. And so drawing or craft or fabric dragons kind of came to me while I was working in a treatment facility. I think it was a really good way for me to work with my unconscious mind, and working with children who'd experienced extreme trauma. After having moments of real deep connection and then having moments of connection with their trauma, my brain really had a hard time parsing out the complexity of dynamic human relationships. So it helped me to kind of begin to relate to some of their behaviors as dragons, and then some of my subconscious responses as dragons. So I started drawing dragons, and that's what brought us here to fabric dragons. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So everyone should have their materials: a big bag of some fabric, some thread, needles, probably can't see that. Some push pins or safety pins, and some scissors. There was also a template that was sent out that you can use to trace onto your fabric to cut, or you can freehand it and make it whatever you'd like. There's absolutely no rules here. The only thing that I invite in for all of you is just that kind of that childhood playfulness, you know, those pictures you drew that went up on the fridge that were like your whole world. So like I would invite you to limit the negative self-talk. You know, this is going to be perfect and it's going to go on your fridge. This is for you, by you, from the little kid inside of each one of us to the adult inside of us that somewhere along the line started taking our art a little too seriously. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're working towards, or an example. So this is a completed dragon that I did for this. And as you can see, we've got our backdrop here. I chose pink so that the fabric and the patterns could stand out. And it's close to the template, but a little bit off. I like to color outside the lines, so I went a little bit outside of the lines. And this is kind of what we'll be working towards. So is everybody with me so far? Everybody ready to make a dragon? So this dragon, I'd like, you can just kind of take a minute, and you, like Quinn said, you are the tender of this dragon, and just kind of set a little intention for yourself. This dragon here is kind of the physical manifestation of my joy and my playfulness. It's, spewing gold and love into the world. And so this is kind of the protector of my curiosity and my playfulness. And just set an intention, if you need a dragon to protect you from the stress of the world, you could do that. And we're just going to start by getting our backdrop. So we're going to cut a piece of fabric. It could be solid, it could be patterned, but we're just going to go ahead and cut it 12 by 12 or so. So go ahead and take your scissors and get yourself a little backdrop. I chose to do a solid color so that the patterns would pop and you'd easily be able to see. But if you want to pick a pattern piece of fabric and have your dragon kind of dissolve into the backdrop, kind of a non-dual God is everything and an everything vibe, you can't really tell the edges. You can go ahead and do that too. You don't have to use the solid piece. So once you've got your background ready, you can go ahead and you can take your template. You can just choose a different piece of fabric for each body part if you'd like. You can do them all the same, but you're going to go ahead and just start cutting out your body parts. You're going to get your wing. You're going to get your body. The tail. So you can take your template and you can trace onto your fabric and then cut it out if you'd like. Or you can also push pin. If you've got a fabric where your marker might bleed into the fabric, you can push pin your template onto that and cut around your template. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this one. Go ahead and start cutting my legs. So if you're freehanding like me, you can go ahead and just kind of cut some strips for your legs. I really like the two-dimensional look. So that's kind of your lower half. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little tail over this way. I'm just going to really kind of do a rough cut here for the head. You can see I did a speedy cut. Got a little tail going on there. Got some legs, and then I have my rough cut for a head. just kind of take a minute and ask it what kind of face it wants.
Hey, Colby.
Yes.
I'm really interested. I just want to first, everyone, can we just acknowledge Colby's beautiful scarf and then the pendant that is resting so perfectly in the middle right there. Ooh. As a creator, how do you express your weird?
Ooh, how don't I express my weird, I guess is the, I mean, I really think that being a creator, I try to, it's like it, just listening, really just listening to what I need to do. If I'm in line at the grocery store and I need to dance, I'm going to dance. And if, I really try to just, that moment when you were little and you were playing with sticks, or you were making little stick figures out of sticks in the yard, or playing with whatever you had to just try and make a fantasy world. I just try to remind myself that that's always available, and somehow I was conditioned out of it socially in high school, or because of work. And I just try to time and place, obviously, but I just try to encourage that creativity and that playfulness in myself. Watching little kids is a great way that I stoke my weird, because there's nothing more fun and weird than little kids.
And the truth. And then I think also us adults then trying to find that weird kid again.
Yeah.
The awkwardness of trying to get back into that free form expression.
Yeah.
But this is such a great way to hop into it. I thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not doing it right. It don't matter, because it's my dragon, right?
It is your dragon. And it's I don't know. I love looking at, and I used to teach, I love looking at all the kids' arts, because everything they made was super beautiful and super real to them, if it was a one-legged thing with a tail and they told me it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it was my job to see what they were seeing,
Right, yeah.
Quit taking the world so literal. I think there's a magic that we all have, that we have access to, but it's it's like anything else. You have to practice to be in touch with that the older you get.
That magic. I think Sherry or Cherie said, my mom just said, I want to shop where Colby Marie shops. Yeah, there are places, especially now, that we might be able to support in terms of finding cool, beautiful things to help liven up our spirit.
Since the pandemic, it's all been online. ASOS has kind of been the go-to when I need to grab some clothes or something. And a lot of community, I try to support pop-up markets like the Witch Market, and local businesses around town. there's so many people creating so many things, and we have so much more access to them now that I try to really keep it in the recycled category, you know, thrifting. I love some savers. I love the arc.
Oh, can I ask a almost a taboo thrift question?
Oh yeah.
What is the best thrift store in Denver?
Oof. I mean, I think sentimentally that arc on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've worked with a couple of nonprofits that work with adults who work there and do job training. And so I'm a bit partial. I've done some work with ability specialists, and they work pretty intimately with the ARC, you know, helping adults gain independent living skills after they're out of high school. So I'm a little partial to the ARC. I love a consignment shop, but I can't usually afford them.
That's what makes the magic that much more amazing when you're like, yo, this beautiful, flowy, like gold robe.
Yeah.
Like $8. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and how am I going to, and I think it just going to the thrift store and cultivating your own style, it's like, you really kind of get to put that playfulness on your body, you know, you get to like, oh, how would this work? You know, and kind of, you know, being queer, going in between the sections, right? Like it doesn't, I can wear whatever I want. Clothing doesn't have a gender. You know, I can put on whatever I want. And if it goes with this, then great. You know, like I love Thundercat. Watch that. Like Thundercat doesn't care about who's dressing, you know, like how to dress, like just whatever makes Thundercat feel good, just Thundercat's wearing, you know.
Damn straight. It's like, as long as you feel fly in it, there's a 99.999% chance you also then do look fly.
Absolutely. It's like you project it, you know, if you're feeling good in what you're wearing, people, like you said, people can tell. And like, yeah, if you feel fly, you look fly. So I try to, if it makes me feel good, I put it on. That's why I wore this scarf. Some friends gave it to me this year. Feel good in it. It's nice, little safety net, you know, kind of got that like feel held feeling while I'm vulnerable in front of 100 people or so here.
Oh Lord, yeah, like we could all use a swaddling right about now.
Yeah, totally. Like, there's going to be a huge market for you know, platonic cuddling once this pandemic's over, you know, unconditional hugs.
Yeah. Ooh, I love it. And shout out to Ana Luisa, the Mile High on Sheridan. That is a gem, I'll tell you what.
Oh, I just drove past it. I'm so intrigued. I've never been in there.
It's like, like I feel just like, so all of the big name thrift stores have just gotten too hip and have been gentrified of those gyms in some ways. But Mile High, like, you really have to seek it out.
Okay, but you know what though? My kids and I, we stand outside that door and we ask each other what we're wanting to manifest, and we have manifested what we wanted out of that place. It is amazing. It is magical.
Ooh, well, like y'all are doing like the spell binding beforehand, just making.
I love it.
Yes, like style crafting before you step into the place. Oh, thank y'all are just boosting my energy and my swag profile for 2021. I love it.
So once you've started cutting out your body parts, you can go ahead and start using the push pins to kind of hold it in place. Like I said, I like coloring outside the lines. So I got a little ear up here, something. This looks kind of like a floral galaxy cat to me so far, which I'm really digging. I'm using my brand new scissors that were a Christmas present from my mom. Thank you, Mom, for being a part of this and facilitating.
Question in the chat asking whether you sew the dragon to the background.
Yes, we will be working towards sewing the dragon towards the background once we kind of have it push pinned in place. I'll be doing that towards the end. And if you're already at a spot where you're ready to start doing that and you know how to thread a needle, and do any stitch that you like. Oh my gosh, I'm totally spacing the name of the stitches. Running stitch. I use a running stitch or a back stitch. If you want to get started on that, but I will go over that here in a second. I'm going to try and get my mouth finished here for my dragon.
Yeah, this is the part, the sewing and the cutting is like where I wish I had those really fun, funky scissors with the different cutouts, the ones you also can't stab yourself with. I just feel like I might have needed an adult part of this.
Yeah, anytime I'm working, it makes me wish that I would have paid more attention in high school when I did the home ec.
Okay, PJ. Thank you for that. They feel that we're so exclusive right now. Like we're not just a group who's crafting. This is a crafting club.
Kind of got a little mouth going on here, some eyes. Then you can always go back and you can trim the under fabric. If you want the background to show through in the mouth, you can trim out this under fabric. Just kind of layer it as it feels good to you. I want to do a little plug for the Black Actors Guild. I saw Hype Man on my birthday virtually, and it was mine. It was so good. It was the best birthday present I got. It was so nice. Such a treat to see some theater during the pandemic.
Well, thank you, Colby. I was about to interrupt you by hyping you up. But here you are. You beat me to the punch. Oh my God. Well, happy belated birthday. Thank you for the support. But I wanted to ask, like, speaking of exclusive club, like Secret Love Collective sounds like a cool group that you stumble upon at like a Brooklyn warehouse or something. Like, who are y'all and how do you do what you do and how can we get a slice of it?
Yeah, thank you. We who are we? We're 8 queer artists, and we kind of just came together with the desire to do something together. We each have our individual art practices, and a couple of the people who were there at the beginning worked a lot with fabric, and we just started doing maximalist fabric art installations. So we would do like photo booth backgrounds, we throw parades, we like costumes. The more the better. It's all about just like, if you want to express yourself, and like kind of like we've talked about so far, you know, if you're feeling fly, you're looking fly, and just giving people like opportunities to go to events and just play, you know. Yeah, it's just really, I feel so blessed because to work with 8 other artists. I've heard stories from people in other collectives about, you know, politics and how it works, and we've just never had that. It's just a loving group of friends. We throw virtual dance parties, we throw sober dance parties, one called In Bed by Ken. We had an installation in Queer City of the Plains down at the Pinnacles building this summer, which you can still see online virtually, which was about the queer history of Denver. Yeah.
I love, y'all are so beautiful. I love, like, everyone is very weird. I know a few people in Circle Life Collective. Y'all are all weird in your own brand, but it meshes so well together, and it is extravagant. And I was like, we need more art of extravagance in our lives.
Yes. It's like, yeah, it's just, thank you. It's, if we're putting stuff together and someone turns around and it's like, should I put this here? The answer is always yes, you know. But we try to encourage our extravagance, you know, and really let ourselves, yeah, I love playing with textures. I've never really done that until I've been in like patterns and textures. Never really done that until I was in the collective.
Oh, let's see. Aaron, you said you might glue some pieces on there. I ain't even gonna lie, I'm super afraid of the stitching part, so I too might try to sneak into this.
Absolutely. If you want a hot glue, that's super reasonable. And a super easy way to. I'm more afraid of hot glue than I am. I used to work next door to the art teacher at Denver North High School, and I'm more afraid of hot glue than I'm not. I've seen some high school accidents with hot glue, but yeah, please go ahead, be safe, don't burn yourself.
I might have to spend a bit of my stimulus check on like a nice glue gun to just save myself trouble.
How's everyone doing out there? Woo! I love it. Oh, I love the fabric patterns. So I'm just giving some ridges here. Got a little wing attached. I think maybe seeing Cheyenne's cat before we started inspired me. I kind of have a little cat-themed dragon. Kind of feeling like a large kitten with a wing to me.
Yeah, I like that. A cuddly dragon?
Yeah, cuddly dragons. I think dragons get misrepresented sometimes. You know, they're always like, you know, especially in Dungeons and Dragons, maybe in the West, we see them as like guarding gold and really, you know, crotchety and angry, and they just been locked away and haven't talked to anybody in a long time. I like the idea of like playful dragons, you know, like the baby dragon from Dragon Prince.
Yeah, I feel like my activity might have included some of the other dragons. Ones that don't need to be picked.
Yeah.
Ones that come to like just nuzzle your neck when you're feeling a little blue.
Yeah. Has anybody started stitching, or is everybody kind of still in push pin cutting? Catherine, stitching?
Yeah, I started. I have a machine here too. I'm like, maybe I'll get the machine started.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for my sewing machine. I didn't have room to bring it back. My mom is gifting the sewing machine to me, so as soon as I get it. I'm obsessed with Chris Roberts and Toe's art right now. It's a thread, a stitch artist, and it's just amazing. It blows my mind, and I'm really into the idea of doing paintings with fabric. Oh, beautiful. I love it, Sarah. Pretty nice benefit of doing some ridges is that the other side is all ready to go once you kind of cut out. Get some spikes for the tail. It's kind of a quick, cut a quick line down that, and you've got a whole nother ridge for a back. Or if you want to put gills or any kind of texture in there.
Can you show the finished product so that you know where to put the body parts?
Absolutely. So you got the wing here. I can't see the template right now, and I'm having a hard time pulling up from memory exactly which parts go where, but is this helpful? Thanks for your question. So if you're ready to start stitching, I'll go ahead and give a brief little tutorial. So you've got your needle, you've got your thread doubled back. So when you thread your needle, you're going to want to take about, couple arm's length, and you're just going to go ahead and cut your thread. Thread your needle so when you're stitching, you've got two pieces of thread holding it together. And you want to make sure that you tie yourself a knot that is big enough that it's not going to pull through the fabric. So your knot is going to go the far end away from the needle. And you're just going to take your little pieces, and I kind of twist them together. And there are lots of different knots you can try here. I kind of just keep going until I wrap it around my finger, give it some twist. And you want to basically wind up with a knot that is, I don't know if you can see this, big enough that it's not going to pull through. And you're just going to start from the back. So you're going to pick a spot once you've got it push pinned that you're ready to go. You're just going to come up through the back, kind of close to the edge. You're going to pull it all the way through. And then to do, I think it's the running stitch, you're just going to move in the direction you want to go. You're going to go back through the thread, or back through the fabric, sorry. You're going to wind up with a stitch that looks kind of like that. And then on the back, you're going to move down a little ways, come back up. Cool. If you have a sewing machine, you can do lots of cool patterns that'll give your dragon a little bit more texture. But for right now, we'll just do this little running stitch. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you can see that, but you're kind of going to wind up with a stitch that looks somewhat like that. That's a little running stitch. I like it. It feels playful to me. I'm not trying to get too tight or in my head about how good a sewer I am. Anybody have any questions?
What's your favorite song to sing at karaoke?
Woo. After seeing Schitt's Creek, it's got to be Tina Turner right now. For lots of reasons. What else? Yeah, I'm just going to go with Tina Turner right now. Great question. How about yours?
Well, my sister judges me hardcore, but KT Tunstall's Black Horse and a Cherry Tree.
Ooh, nice. I go for Katy Perry pretty frequently, but it's super high and I blow out my vocal cords every time. But you know, after I get warmed up, I just can't help but wanting to sing Firework.
When you blow your vocal cords out is when you know you're doing karaoke right.
Absolutely.
We have a question for you, Colby.
Okay.
Do you know?
Did you get that? Emmy would like to know if you know how to knit.
Do I know how to knit, like hats and sweaters?
Right, yeah.
I don't. I have not learned it.
Not yet.
I would love to.
Made you that beautiful scarf.
Yes, somebody made me this beautiful scarf. My aunt is very good at knitting who is here, Sybil Brewster. I don't know if she's still in the room with my mom, but she's a wonderful knitter. And I have several hats somewhere in this apartment that she's made. Do you know how to knit?
Uh-huh, but I don't know how to knit a circle or
that's she's just working on scarves, but she hasn't mastered the infinity scarf.
Yeah. Oh, this is an infinity scarf.
I mean, it's really wonderful.
Beautiful. Look like butterfly wings. My goodness. Wait, you unfurled it?
I have a question. You said you used to work with kids. Have you done this dragon project with kids before? With a group of children?
No, I haven't. I would put up anything that they drew that they wanted in the classroom. You know, I would put up there like anything. I have folders full of their art, but for 1 year I had heaven on earth in Denver Public Schools where I had my own classroom. Kids would come by, and I was a special ed teacher, so it was a lot of like tutoring, social emotional, but we were next door to the art room. I was friends with the art teacher, so we could kind of go over there and do art therapy, or they could keep working on their projects when they needed to re-regulate. So I've never had the chance to guide this with kids, but I would love to someday.
I'm an art teacher, so I will definitely do this project with my kids.
Oh, yay! That's so awesome. Yeah, it's such a fun way to like play with emotions and colors and textures, and like I just feel like it's so good for the teenager that lives inside of all of us to kind of reclaim those judgmental art moments. Like, no, this is just supposed to be fun. You know, I work next to some great art teachers at Denver North, so that's really exciting.
If you were to use, I was wondering if I wanted to add like small details to this, would you recommend any kind of paint like fabric paint or puffy paint or like any type of thing like that to add on?
Yeah, I think fabric paint would work really well. You can always glue googly eyes. I think some of your boxes came with googly eyes. I mean, really, when I was doing the template for this and I went to Michael's, I was like, oh my gosh, I could spend $1,000 on parts for these dragons. There's so many things that you could put on them. And I think the more the better, you know.
I think if you're teaching kids too, it might be better to use a hoop. So that you can easily go back and forth, because that's what I pulled out for mine.
That's a great idea.
I was today years old when I found out what that is for and how much of a benefit it is. Oh my gosh.
Mile high, 50 cents.
That feels like performance enhancing. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was going to throw out a thrift shop that's great and is art related. Recreative on Santa Fe.
Oh, yes.
It's a great shop.
I love that place. Where I take all of my crafts that I don't need anymore.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah, huge shout out to Recreative just in terms of like the community building that they do.
And if you want to give your dragon a little like three-dimensional, you can always bunch your fabric a little bit and kind of fold it and pin it, kind of give the wings a little wingy air vibe. I think there's a little bit of that in this one where it's just folded on top of itself.
Colby, I'm looking at the time and we only have 2 minutes left.
Oh no, look at it. This goes right by.
Party with one another. Are there any final details or directions that we need to get before we bid everyone a farewell? See you later. How about?
I think just keep having fun. It seems like everyone's doing really great from the gallery view. If anybody has any last questions, but I would say, you know, get it, push 10, and more is more. Really, just live your best life. Just, oh, yay. Yeah, can some people hold up what they've got? I'd love to see them. Oh, I love it. Oh, that is dynamite. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness gracious. Y'all are just warming my heart. This is just, oh, look at these. Oh, that's my sister. Big shout out to my sister. She runs a day treatment program, taking care of people. Ah, this is beautiful. Quinn, is there anything coming up with the Black Actors Guild, or do y'all have any productions, any online productions coming up?
Not in the moment, this is like a beautiful moment where it's like, oh, we actually don't have anything that we can do too much. So we're taking a step back, rebranding and growing. We got a new office and we did a squad trip to IKEA and spent hours arguing about so some point on our social media you'll see that, but now right now I'm just like lucky enough to be working with students, doing 1,001 Zooms. It feels like a week, but it's very rewarding work, and I'm definitely going to try to find a way to turn this, my beautiful little dragon, into a project for my students as well.
Oh, fun.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here tonight, I think. First of all, I want to thank you so much, Colby and Quinn, for doing this on behalf of myself, everyone at the MCA. Thanks to everyone for crafting with us tonight. What a crazy night. I'm glad that we all were able to come together and share this experience as on this crazy, very crazy and historic day. So this was the end of our first Laugh Your Craft Off series, but we have plenty of more weekly free programming coming up, including talks with artists who are featured in the current exhibition, which is on view Citizenship, the Practice of Society. Next Wednesday, we have artist Paul Ramirez-Jones in conversation with the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs Director, Kendall Henry. They're going to talk about public art, more important now than ever. They're going to talk about who it's made for, why it's important, why you should care about it. And you can register for that event at the link that is in the chat right now. Of course, you can find out about all of our programming at MCA Denver. If you like this, and you want to see more of this, you'll get a survey in the mail. Let us know what you thought. And we love that you're here with us. We love that you're spending your Wednesday evenings with us. And I've loved spending my Wednesdays with all of you. So thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of this, and have a wonderful evening on behalf of myself and my co-host, Imogen, and our trusty kitty, Tobin. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. It's great working.
Everyone, this is great. Thank you.